good, everybody? Welcome to the new version, I guess, of the Throwbacks.
2.0.
2.0, right? Yeah. This is going to be the promo that we're going to put for season 2 of the Throwbacks. We're not going to do anything too different from what we did before. We're still going to have motivation, inspiration, raising for good causes. We're still going to have athletes, entertainers of all kinds. We're actually going to mix it up a little bit and have a lot more entertainers and athletes come in and kind of tell their stories to kind of help people understand, what it is to strive for the better of themselves, the people around them, what it is to work hard and make it happen. So today we are going to do, it's almost kind of like a mini show, right? We're gonna have like a mini show where we're just gonna give a rundown of how we're gonna do things in season 2. I wanna introduce our main man, Guallaman Slim. He's back again.
One more time, man.
Yeah.
Another lap. Let's go. Let's go. And we brought some friends this time.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Now we got some more people this time. Now we got some more people, so we're going to make it happen. He's going to be on the show, as well, moving forward, kind of give us his insight from a music perspective, from a business perspective. Also, former basketball player, right? So
sure,
he used to do his thing, so he knows the sports world pretty well.
Surely. And we're going to bring some more athletes out with us this year.
That's right. And that reminds me too. So some of the ideas that we've had and some athletes that we wanted to bring out, he's made, contact with a lot of guys in the NFL, right? And, we're going to reach out to some of his NFL contacts, try to get them to come out and,
they coming. We just got to set it up.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's official. Our hope this year again is to bring out professionals of all kinds, so that way they can tell their story of how they got there, what it took for them to get there, and how they maintained. Because I think that's a big thing for all of us, right? Is like once you get to that level of professional level in anything, how do you maintain? Staying there.
Yeah, you got to refine. You got to constantly be improving. Otherwise, you're going to fall off.
Yep.
Somebody's going to get your number and take you out, so you got to keep changing it.
Reinvent yourself.
Somebody's always out.
You always got to reinvent yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, always. So we also have our writer, co-producer. I mean, you're like 50 different things. You wear like 400 hats almost even.
I mostly wear this hat.
Yeah. He's been part of the show. He's mostly been on the other side of it. But I think this year we're going to have, him more, in the camera and talking.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right.
I'm going to be the stats man. I've done that on a couple of shows. If somebody needs to look up who won the title in whatever year, I can do that real quick, like Jamie to Joe Rogan. You know what I mean?
There you go.
This is our AI.
Yes. So James Clay Wise, the Mr. Clay, he's going to be running stats for us. He, again, as he said before, he ran stats for us previously. He's mostly kind of behind the camera. So if you've watched previous episodes, you haven't actually seen him, you've only heard him. But in this upcoming season, we're going to have him more kind of on the forefront. He's always been a writer. He's always been one of the producers of the show as well. So we're excited to kind of have him still a part of this, and we appreciate you.
Hey, I'm excited to be part of this.
He's got some insight as well. His experiences, and I said this on our recap show, which is, I've been in the music business for a while. We've been in the entertainment space for a long time, and there's not many people that that I know, honestly, we all, that literally their sole profession technically is entertainment and music. And you have parlayed all the skills that you have into, how many instruments can you play technically, right?
3 or 4 pretty well, and then some kind of half-ass. But I can get by. But I play drums primarily, play bass, both of those in several groups. But I play some guitar, some keyboards. I sing. I like to write.
And you've toured, right? And so, and he's toured and stuff like that. And I think you've also even toured playing different, things.
Yeah,
right?
I've done road shows on bass and guitar, and I did a pretty cool tour with one of my bands. We opened for Seven Dust.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I was on drums for that hard rock stuff.
So he can even kind of bring that other also experience as well. So you're going to see a commonality in the show moving forward of, again, everybody's kind of done everything on a high level, on a professional level. How we got there, how we stay motivated, how we stayed there, because that's important, right?
Yep.
You know, and how we can kind of keep going in that area. So we've had him in the past. We had him on the last episode of season 1, and it was actually the biggest episode we ever had. And everybody loved him, so we begged him to come out again.
That's news for me.
We begged him to come out. So Stephen Ocho Peterson, UFC, MMA legend, MMA champion, even, right?
Yeah, I was world champion
Yeah.
on, for Legacy back in the day. I fought in the UFC for about 5 years.
Jeez.
So now it's time to, I took my chips from the table, walked away so I can build what I'm building now. And who knows what the cards hold in the future, but I see that UFC title in my future. I just gotta play my cards right. And Dana, I want to sit down and kind of go over a little game plan, because I got a plan going forward. So if I can get them on board, sky's the limit.
And
otherwise, I'm gonna do my own thing, and I'm okay with that too. So I'd love to sit down with the boss and make some shit happen, but. I'm working on what I'm doing regardless, so check out OchoTV.net.
That's right. And, it looks like we're going to start dropping the throwbacks on OchoTV.net, thanks to you, and we appreciate that.
Let's do that, man.
Yeah.
Season 1 coming soon to OchoTV.net. You can check out Idle Time Podcast on OchoTV.net, and a lot of original content, as well as our pay-per-views for F3L, Fight Fit Fighting League.
That's right. And, that's another thing, too. So he's got a lot of events. He does a lot of charity work as well. So again, one of the big things that we're trying to do as a group, obviously, is continue to promote charitable things, right? Because we have to learn as professionals to not only do what we do on a high level, but also give back, right? And there's many different ways that you can give back. And I think one of the things that you have spearheaded, right, which is giving back to veterans, right? And I think that's absolutely huge. We talk about this on the last episode that you were on, which is veterans, they're kind of, I hate to say it, but they kind of they've been forgotten almost, right? And I made a comment on the last episode, and I want to make it again. There was a time when a veteran would come home and we would literally have parades for them.
Exactly.
Huge parades for them. Do you see that anymore?
No, you haven't in years, bro.
Ever since Vietnam.
They get hated when they come back, and they don't. They're just following orders. Like whether you agree with the war or whatever's going on, they probably don't even agree with what they have to do. But they got to follow orders. Otherwise, you're a deserter. You go out the wrong way. So they get back, and they might have mental problems, physical problems, and all that, and they kind of get kicked to the curb. So I feel like with veterans, when they get back home, they should always have a place to stay. They should always have a home. You fight for the home. You should always have a plot of land you can build your own house on. Yeah. I think that should be standard in America.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, 100. They give their lives, right? And then they come
Ultimate
home.
sacrifice,
Nothing, right? Yeah. And I think that's something that we hope to work with you on that as well. My business, you recently got in real estate as well, right? You know what I'm saying? And I think those are some things that, we should all look into, down the road, working together, creating some sort of collaboration, and, maybe even shoot some episodes while we're doing that too. That would be kind of cool as well. So, that's...
I'm all for it.
Yeah, check it out at housinghomelessheroes.com if you want to give to the cause, or you have, anything that you can input. Our F3L event, Fight League, we have True Grit Series. That's our exhibition fundraiser series. So that's raising funds for Housing Homeless Heroes. Support that, or support the cause straight up, housinghomelessheroes.com.
There you go. So again, this season we got Mr. Ocho Peterson, and you heard, like you just said, you heard it first. Dana White, quit fucking around, man.
You officially are invited to the show. Come on.
We're missing out on a great opportunity, is the way I see it, man.
Yep.
I'm doing what I'm doing. I got a story. I'm no gatekeeper. I'm no undercard fighter. So, I had to take my cards and walk away. Grab my chips from the table, and I'm multiplying them now. So if I come back to the table, we're going all in.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go on the house.
Son, what you think about that?
Man, I'm thinking we need to get in touch with Dana first off. And second of all, hey, speaking of UFC, my bad. I need my boy Mo to come over here too, man.
Come on, Momo.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Let's get it
man.
poppin'.
Muhammad, I need you to come over here too, bro. So yeah. We're going to make it happen one way or another. You did?
Yeah. No. It'd be great to have the fight perspective as well, too, because, I mean, we have, like I said, we've had basketball players, baseball players, you know what I mean? Obviously, we've had, you know, a fighter on now, too. But, you know, I think the fight game is prepped for something so massive, right? And it's still just steadily rising and rising and rising, right? And, you know, I think kind of the way the world is nowadays, I mean, it's good to, like, I mean, you know, they have, what are they, I equate it to this, right? You've heard of break rooms, right?
Yeah.
You know, where people like, and those are like big things now, right? There's like break rooms everywhere where people just go into them and fucking destroy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Rage.
So, you know, technically the fight game is where you need to be at because like that's almost the ultimate level of like what we as humans can accomplish, right? I mean, it's funny. So I did MMA for a little bit. This was a while back, so I'm nothing like you. So I'm not trying to like.
I don't want no problem.
You want no smoke. You don't want no smoke.
I don't, you know, I'm not trying to be like that, but
Jiu-jitsu.
I did MMA for like 6 years. Yeah, I did. So I learned jiu-jitsu. I learned a little wrestling. I learned Muay Thai and stuff like that. And it used to always trip me out because we would have the CrossFitters come in and they would think that like they would think like, oh man, this is nothing, but man, they wouldn't even last like a few intervals of training before they're like dying, right? MMA fighters are like truly, in my opinion, the ultimate human beings because the shit you have to go through to train your body, the endurance that you have to have, the strength you have to have, the mental fortitude. Yes, the mental fortitude you have to do that is unparalleled to any sport. I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't know what y'all think, but that's...
You got to be the ultimate, my nigga. And you got to be tough. You got to be built different, bro. You really got to be built different, bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it makes me think of like, have y'all heard of, Ocho, have you heard of Power Slap? Have y'all seen that?
Yeah.
Like, that's like the new UFC almost.
Power Slap, you just got, like, you got to be stupid.
Yeah, no doubt.
No offense to B. Ellis, man. That's my
They
dude,
be
but
eating some shots, bro. Like, pause, but I ain't gonna lie.
some shit I would have done in second grade for sure. You know, knuckles, bloody knuckles, stuff like that. That's...
Well, we talked about it on the last episode, the shit we did when we were younger. Remember how Derek was talking about doing that?
Oh,
He made himself pass out.
Quarters, freaking, you know.
The knuckles. Yeah, I remember that game. Wow, you know. I remember that
I used
game.
to do that shit, but, I mean, you got a brain. You got to, you know.
I mean, these people have to be getting...
I took a lot of damage in my career, like skin-wise, but my brain's all right, you know. Like
You ain't taking a free shot.
a free shot over and over
I mean, that
again.
has to be giving concussions, man.
I'll tell you what, I would do it for a $1 because I got a hell of a chin, and I don't see anybody knocking me out. So, yeah.
There you go.
For $1 million, Dana, hit me up.
Yeah, right.
We'll put that out there, too.
Yeah. See, we got a lot we can talk about, for sure.
No doubt. So again, season 2 is going to be very interesting. We have a lot that we can discuss. We plan on getting a lot of different people in. We still plan on, soliciting Ray and Derek to come out as well. They both got their things going on. Derek is actually, number one, I think we all can give big love to Derek.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much for being a part of season 1. He's currently a college baseball college coach, basic college baseball coach right now. He's in his season, so we wish you the best of luck. But thank you for coming out, being a part of the show. We look forward to having you on as a guest every now and then when you have time. But thank you for giving us your time in season 1.
Yeah.
We definitely want to thank Ray. Same thing. He is an AAU coach right now. He actually is currently trying to get on the Mavericks team, and we can talk about that another day, but that's been a whole thing. But so we wish you the best in that as well. And he's on a podcast called To the Baja right now with Theo Pinson, who is a former NBA player as well. It's a pretty big podcast. Check them out. But we also want to thank Ray as well, because actually, I'll get to that later because I think we got some fan questions that we're going to throw in and stuff like that. So we'll end up getting to that another time, or here shortly. But we want to thank Ray as well because the inception of this actually kind of came from some conversations that me and Ray had on how we wanted to promote motivation, inspiration, everything that I said at the beginning. We're going to keep with that, but again, it kind of came from him. So thank you, Ray, for everything that you did, for the time that you put into this and everything. We look forward to having you out, randomly whenever you have the time between your busy schedule. So we want to definitely thank those guys for, taking the time in season 1. And season 2, we're kicking it off hard. We're going to make sure we get some good guys out here. We have a list of athletes, entertainers, and people. We're going to definitely have Brian out again because, unfortunately, and I want to say to you, Brian, right now, I love you, man, and I apologize we didn't talk as much about sports, and we mostly just talked to you about music, and that was kind of the whole reason why you came out, was to talk about sports, because the dude, godfather of metal.
Brian Slagle.
If anybody knows anything about music, you know him, and he's the epitome of famous to famous people. Okay, so like I actually went to a charity event with him, and like the head of every major studio was like, hey, how are you? Like shaking his hand, just like hugging him, like they just couldn't wait to talk to him. And honestly, anybody that knows metal, especially, right? Again, he's the godfather of metal. He is the reason Metallica is here, right? He might not necessarily overly be like, yeah, but
they do.
But they do. They say that about him. Lars openly says if it wasn't for Brian, Metallica wouldn't be here, right? And that's just that band. I mean, we talk about, Amon Amarth, Rat, Slayer, Killswitch Engage. We talked about Killswitch. I think that's one of your bands, right?
That's one of my favorite rock bands. Metal bands.
Love Killswitch.
So we will definitely have you on again. We will definitely talk more sports. This go around with you.
And Brian's a big hockey fan too, and I believe he knows some hockey players. So who knows? He may even be able to bring us into that world.
Yes. So yes, Brian.
Side.
Maybe we can get some hockey guys in here as well, because those guys are fucking tough as nails.
Yeah. Love hockey.
They party hard.
That's right.
Oh, we know about the Pantera stories, right?
Yeah. No doubt. So yeah, we got some big things coming up for season 2. We look forward to getting into it. We had some Q&A. We had some questions that have been asked of us actually in the past. We tried to remember them as best as we could. And so I think we have a little part that we want to kind of, give a little Q&A and everything like that, kind of explain what we got going on, where we came from, stuff like that. I think that's the basis of them.
Yeah, we've had several shows, and there's tons of fan comments, and so a lot of the questions are kind of in the same vein. So I basically compiled a list of some of the most commonly asked questions. So the first one is for you. How did the idea for the show come about?
Yeah, so as I said before, me and Ray, we became friends. And he had just came off of being on Bally Sports broadcast for the Dallas Mavericks. And he was still working with the Pelicans, but he was kind of doing some stuff with NBA TV on Sirius XM, right? And one of the thoughts is, he's post-career, right? And just like even Derek, right? Post-career. How am I going to take my life post-career? What am I going to do with everything I built for myself as a brand?
Parlay it.
Yes, right? Post-career. And so I was like, hey, man, why don't we do a podcast, right? I had previously, and the inception of the podcast was technically you, me, and him, and then we were going to get Alden on, remember?
Yeah.
And then Alden had some things, which we plan on having him on soon, right?
Yeah, real soon.
And so the inception was having Alden on, right? And then, unfortunately, Alden wasn't able to be on because he had some things going on, right? And he kind of lives between here and some other areas, right? I don't think he kind of lives here, but kind of moves around, right? Yeah. Doesn't he live in California part-time too, I think, or something like that?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, again, Alden was just kind of doing his thing. He wasn't able to come on. And we got to give a big shout out, because had we not had the connection with Wayne Garner, we would not have connected with Derek. And him and Derek are very close with each other. And, actually this show technically probably wouldn't have gone the way it had if it wasn't for Wayne.
That's true.
Wayne helped write for the show. Wayne was definitely in the background of some of the shows. He kind of even helped with stats. And he's actually the reason why we connected with Derek. So when Alden wasn't able to come on the show, we filled him Oh, it's loud. Sorry, I'm hitting too much here. When Alden wasn't able to come on the show, we actually ended up getting Derek on the show because of Wayne. So Wayne kind of helped us fill the gap. Wayne is definitely going to be on this season for sure. He's an active part of what we have going on. We plan on having him as much as possible. He also is the same thing. He lives in Austin. He is an actor. He is in, it's 1883. 1883. He's been on Yellowstone. He's been on Reservation Dogs. He's been on a lot of stuff. And on top of that, he's a musician. So he's got a lot going on right now. So whenever we can get his time, we plan on having him out. He played football at Oklahoma. This guy has probably some of the craziest stories that you'll ever hear. So anyways, point is, he brought Derek on. And then once Derek hit, with me and Ray, it was just lights out after that. I mean, there was a lot of chemistry between the three of us, and it just kind of parlayed into what it did for season one. But the inception of it came, early inception was the three of us doing kind of our own thing.
Well, and then just the fact that we would sit around, we worked at office together, and, instead of doing work, a lot of times we would sit around and talk about sports for 2 hours. We're like, man, we should have recorded that. That was really good. Yeah. And
then again, the actual inception of Throwbacks came from me being like, well, hey, I've have access to people and things, and I've got some connections, and I can make something happen for Ray, right? Like, let's build that post-career brand for you. That's how it came about. And, that's, the rest of it. The rest is history from there. So that's a long-winded version of how that started technically. Right. So
yeah, it's really cool, though, because it's always meant a lot to all of us, in the different ways, from how we all came up. So.
Yep. Yeah, because that was the big thing that even brought Ray to it, right? Which I'd like to believe, and even Derek, too, actually, was the motivation, inspiration part of it. You know what I mean? Like, we want to motivate and inspire people. This world is kind of fucked up right now. Let's just be honest. And we could go off on that technically, but we want to motivate and inspire people. And so that's kind of where all that came from. So, anyways, I know you got some other questions. So.
We can always use more positivity. I'll just say
no doubt, man.
This world is amazing. It is what we make it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. So the next question is for Ocho. How is your acting career going, and what have you done? What do you have coming up?
Man, I enjoy just living my dreams. From when I was a kid, I wanted to do this, that, and the other. Fighting's really a means to an end, and it's opened up a lot of doors for me. So acting, fight choreography, and stunts is something that I've always wanted to do. So I've done a lot of music video stunts and stuff like that with Matt JC, Operation Rock the Troops.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Matt.
Yeah, shout out to Matt JC and his mission, Operation Rock the Troops. Oh, yeah. So I've done a lot of stunts and stuff like that for his music videos, and then that's kind of opened a few doors in that realm. And then through Major Dodge, he's a wrestling coach out of Rockwall. He's an actor. Him and his son. They do acting on a high level, always traveling acting. So one night he called me and asked me, like, hey, do you have this, and this date open? Like, you have to be there this, and this date. And I was like, okay, I can be at this date and this date, but I can't be at this date. And he was like, well, the role is you have to be there all those days. I was like, all right, we'll make it happen. So I made it happen, and I thought I had a really small role in the movie, and turns out I was in a pretty good portion of it, and I got a really good response from that. So that's opened more doors, and I have a few films coming up on the way. But check out The Actor on Amazon and Tubi and a couple other platforms. But it's called The Actor 2024, and we have a movie called Choctaw Fighter that we're filming in the near future. And then
is Thomas a part of that one?
I'm not sure. I got reached out to.
We need to bring him on too.
They gave me a role that was like, this is me. It's like
like Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld.
He's a badass. He's a fucking former fighter. He's a promoter. It was like, okay, like that's my role.
His
name's Steven.
I was like, yeah, I'll take that one. So I'll be can't say too much, but I'll be
Yeah.
filming that in the near future. And then a movie called Rear Naked Choke with Major Dodge. It's kind of his passion project, and that one's a pretty incredible film that we'll be filming here in the next few months. So looking forward to those.
So what kind of stunts are they having you do? I mean, I wouldn't have guessed that,
Man, jumping
the
off
acrobatics
roof.
stuff, really?
Yeah, like there was one on the actor where I had to climb on the roof, and I'm a bad guy. I'm in a mask, and some guy comes and pushes me, and I gotta fall off into the pool.
Yeah.
So like we did it about 4 or 5 times, and with a mask on, it's like, okay, I know my mark. Really hope you hit that water. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that, and it's like I'm acting. Why would I let somebody else do that role? That's the fun shit.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's the Tom
sure,
Cruise
it's
method right
risky. Like you take a little damage, but that's what I'm for. Like that's what I'm here for. And in acting, it's like, yeah, I love this shit. With Matt JC, it was like, okay, I gotta dress as like a Taliban, and I'm running from a helicopter. I get shot and I fucking fall, or I get punched and I gotta dive back into the mud pit and stuff like that. It's fucking super fun. And in acting, you fuck it up, do it again. So I'm used to getting one shot.
Yeah.
In fighting, you get one shot, and that defines your career. Every fight, you're only as good as your last fight. If that fight you shit the bed, then that's going to live on for the rest of your career. So acting's super easy. It is super easy. I can't stand working with actors though, because they're divas, and they're like, hold up, like I got to read my lines, I got to rehearse. Okay, line, all right, got it, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like action. You mess it up, all right, do it again. 2-3 times, I'm gonna nail that role every time.
Wow. So that's like a second calling, really.
That's
for you,
really
right?
cool.
That's great.
The
man.
stunt stuff, especially. Is there any stunt?
I'm a hell of a bad guy, and I have died in every role I've played so far. So
You're like the Sean Bean.
yeah, eventually I feel like I'll get a role that I'll be like, the action hero, but you got to pay your dues. It's like when they put a black guy in a movie, you got to wear a dress. You know what I'm saying? It's like, like every famous, actor, he's worn a dress.
Williams
so,
says.
I got.
Oh, that's right.
I got to get killed in all my films, and eventually maybe I'll be
like
the hero.
Another season or something. The bad guy, baby.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Are there any stunts that you would say no to? Like, is there anything that would just feel too much?
I wouldn't wear a dress.
That's all.
I wouldn't step out of my integrity. Like I'm always, I'm
Respectable.
a bad dude. I'm a wild dude. But my integrity, I stand on that. I wouldn't play a role that I wouldn't be able to live with. That being my, I'll be a bad guy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm a good bad guy. But but that's like, yeah, I'm acting, but I'm not going to act like pedo or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm not. There's a lot of certain things that I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
But as far as stunts, man, you shoot that arrow at me, like, it's fairly safe, and I don't care. I'm dangerous.
Right. I think of like Tom Cruise, like climbing the mountain or
yeah.
hanging onto the plane and
Hell
shit.
yeah, strap me in, B.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it.
Right on. All right, cool. Well, let's move on to the next question. For Slim, again, we got a lot of different questions, so I kind of phrased this, my own way. But your drip is crazy. Do you have a fashion line?
Don't got my own yet.
You got your face on your chain, a couple of them.
I do, man. It's the Holy Trinity, me, myself, and I. So, yeah, man.
Let's go.
Don't have my own fashion line yet, man. You know what I'm saying? Probably gonna pivot to something like that in the future, but I am working close with, a couple of people on there. So, you know what I'm saying? Doing some brand ambassador work, so y'all be on the lookout. Got Intelligent Movement. That's the newest one right now. I'm partner with. So, you know what I'm saying?
Cool. Let's go.
Got a little bit more of that coming in the future. We're going to see what the Guallaman going to do, man. You know what I'm saying?
You're always making moves, right?
Always making.
Definitely going to try to give me some shades and shit, though.
Yeah.
Definitely going to get my own, you know what I'm saying?
That's literally what he was saying before. He was like, we need to have them out here. We can all wear shades,
Yeah, we got some shit in the works, man.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
Nice. Well, you know, you got to keep it going. Honestly, I think as long as I've known you, you've always had like just these different like
something going on.
Yeah,
right?
always a different concept. You have all these different concepts that you've always worked on. Your marketing, promoting too, you know, has always been like really on point as well. Like, you know, I think you've always really understood what it is to like market and promote yourself and market and promote the different things that you do. So it doesn't surprise me that you're gonna eventually maybe get into like fashion and stuff like that, right? You always had your own
man.
style.
It's the art of selling, man. I sold everything under the sun. You know what I'm saying? So it's just another bullet in the chamber, so to speak.
All right, back to you, Ocho. You show a lot of love for our veterans, which you spoke about earlier. Do you have family and friends who served?
I do. Not family. Well, my grandpa on my father's side. I believe my mom's side too. So, yes, a little bit of family, but mostly friends. When I was in high school, I planned on going. I wanted to go. I probably wouldn't be here today if I had gone. Just my mindset, I would have been like, no, I'm going. You know, like I'm gonna take him out. You know, I was that, you know, the bull. You know, I was the bull, and you know, growing up now, I'm more of the matador, where you know, I'll let the bull go by and just take him out. So that being said, yeah, I lost some friends, and then I made friends that came back, and I met them and lost them. So I know a lot of people that have been gravely affected by you know, going to the military. So just seeing them and what they're going through, it's messed up. You know, they come back and they get kicked to the curb. It's a deep cause of mine, and I really want to support and raise awareness, get others to support. You don't have to support what they went and fought. That's a politician's war.
Yep.
You know, they come back, and whether they wanted to do what they did or wanted to fight, they come back and they went to support their country.
Yeah.
They fought for their country. So they should always have a place to stay, and that's what Housing Homeless Heroes is always all about. Is you should have a place to stay, and those are the people that, if the fight ever came to the home front, those are the people you want to call on. So they should have a good home. They should have a compound, you know. And that's one of my causes is to, if the fight comes here, I'm going to be on the front lines, you know. And I want to facilitate, you know, the growth of a veteran community, and, you know, give them outlets when they come back. When you come back, you shouldn't be working as a barista. You shouldn't be working as anything but utilizing the skills that you've acquired over the time you were over there. So, you know, if you're a mechanic, you come back and you work as a mechanic. That's cool. If you're a, you know, you could work as private security, private contracting. We work with Allegiance Project Foundation. They do community-funded school security. So you're a veteran,
nice.
right?
That's
You're over there
huge.
fucking doing reconnaissance, or even, you know, whatever you're doing over there. If you're working at a school, it gives you a reason to wake up in the morning. If somebody goes in that school and you get a school shooter, you know damn well that veteran's going to run in there.
He's going to crush them. You know?
They're probably going to see it before it happens, because they're going to have a purpose, and they're going to really engage with that purpose. So stuff like that, man, just giving these guys a community and a mission, a purpose. They have a purpose. It's helping them realize what that purpose is, and giving them the outlets to accomplish that purpose. So that's really what we're all about, Housing Homeless Heroes. And if you see there's 8,000 homeless veterans in Texas. It's ridiculous. Homeless veterans off the streets.
It is crazy.
And the reason why they end up homeless is because there's a lack of resources and community. You get back, it's like getting out of jail. You're institutionalized. You don't have mission anymore. You don't have orders. So giving them a community and a sense of purpose, that's going to eliminate 9 out of 10 homeless veterans. And then the 1 out of 10 is, okay, that's the purpose. Okay, if my purpose is to get veterans off the streets, that gives me a reason to wake up in the morning. So veterans help veterans, brothers help brothers, it's community. So just building that community and camaraderie, that's what we're all about.
So back to Slim. on a lighter note, what is the craziest thing that's happened to you on tour?
Man, what rated? Is this rated PG?
He's like,
We're in Lubbock. We in Lubbock, Texas. Lubbock, Texas,
all right.
right? Yeah. Leaving about the club, we hop in the limo and stuff, and like we see these like trucks following. Like Lubbock, we stand out in Lubbock. You know what I'm saying? Like not a lot of us in Lubbock. You know, so, with this drip, you know what I'm saying. So anyway, people following the limo. I guess whoever girlfriends they were. You know what I'm saying? Their boyfriends following the limo. So like the limo driver had to pull over to like, yeah, hey man, I don't know what's going on with y'all, but y'all gotta stop following us type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like. Damn near drew down on them, you know what I'm saying? Like, waited till they pulled off, and like we went on to the hotel with them. So
that's about as tame as you're gonna get.
On your tail.
yeah.
Some Lubbock boys.
Sent them home about 3-4 in the morning.
Damn.
Were they all from Tech? Or did they all go?
I don't know where they were from.
I'll wear polo shirts.
Very likely.
Wherever they were from, though, it
Yeah.
didn't even matter.
Texas Tech.
It's the STD capital of the world, or it's
What?
like, or it actually no.
He's like, hell
Literally,
yeah.
literally. Supposedly, out of all the universities in the country, it has the most. It's the highest STD rate of all the universities.
Out of Raider Rash.
Yeah, Raider Rash.
Oh,
it's a thing. It's a thing. Yeah, it's real.
I heard about it.
Yeah.
I never been.
He's like, I'm good.
Never had a Raider rash, but I had some Raider ass.
40 minutes now, so.
Well, this will be a good wrap up. Last question is for you.
Sure.
How did you get your love of sports, and how has that impacted your life?
Yeah, so my dad played soccer in Mexico. He was like on some club teams down there. He was all right. I don't know if he was anything big, you know what I mean, but I do know he played some club stuff, I guess when he was younger down there. And then, my mom was an athlete as well. She played volleyball and stuff like that. So, my dad passed when I was a kid, so I mostly spent most of my time around my uncles and my friends and my mom, and so they were all big Cowboy fans. They were all just massive, fans of all different types of sports, right? And so really kind of them technically, and then of course, for me, I played every sport. I played, football, I played basketball, I played baseball. And then one of the other sports that I played, which is I almost hesitate a lot of times to say it because everyone just kind of like looks at me, you know what I mean? Or it depends on what you think of the sport. But my uncle was a professional bowler, and when my dad passed, my uncle, I lived with him for a little bit, and so he taught me bowling when I was like 9-10 years old, and so. And I just ended up getting like really good at it at a very young age. Like I was probably 11 or 12 and I could easily beat an adult. I mean, I bowled my first 300, which is a perfect game, when I was 13, and I've since then bowled like 30 of them. You know what I mean? So
I've never even bowled a 200.
Yeah. So and I had a really high average. I mean, I averaged competitively in sport leagues, which are like lower level professional leagues and stuff like that. Or like they're more like amateur, semi-pro type, stuff.
Tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, and so I competed in those, and then the highest I ever made it was regional professional level. I competed in one regional professional tournament, and I've actually got a crazy story behind that. Technically,
It's probably not PG-13.
It's definitely not PG-13, but it was wild. That was at the same time that I was doing music as well too, so I was partying a lot, and but somehow in my fucked up stupor, I'll keep it to that, I made it to the semifinal of the tournament, and so and mind you, I had been up for like a day, and so somehow I made it to the semifinal of the tournament. Yeah. And so, I competed on a regional professional tournament at once. So technically, I was a professional bowler for a very short amount of time. But so I mean, just athlete, just love sports, man. And I love talking about it. It's always been a passion of mine. And I don't know. I know a lot of athletes as well, and it just kind of parlayed into that. So sports is my thing.
Yeah.
You ever think about going back to bowling?
So I tried, what was it, in 2014 to 2017. My knee is pretty fucked up, and I just wasn't the same. Yeah. I tried, but like my body just couldn't do it anymore.
Still roll though, man. Like it's one of those things. If you didn't know you or anything about you, hey, let's all go bowling, and all of a sudden this little dude's just wow, like the way that you move, it's like looks freaky because you have to use your whole body to get so much shit on the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, it's wild, but yeah, he's really good even still.
He's the bowl shark.
Yeah. No, I was. So I'll tell one little story, and I know we got to cut. Our producer Brian's been staring at us, so sorry, Brian. So I'll tell you one story. So when I was 11 years old, my uncle had taught me. We were in San Antonio, and he would actually use me to hustle his friends. So, because like I could beat adults, and so he'd be like, mijo, which is like a term of endearment, Hispanic, right? He's like, mijo. He goes, hey, bowl my buddy. And I'll be like, all right. And he goes, but bowl him left-handed. And I was right-handed bowler. Yeah. And I'm like, but I could bowl left-handed too. And so he was like, I'll be like, all right, and I bowl. And he would be like, damn, I guess he didn't get this one. He'd be like, well, you let him bowl right-handed. And the guy, he's like an older guy. This guy's probably like in his 30s, right? And he's just like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm still going to kill this little kid, Yeah. And then I'd bowl right-handed and I'd beat him. You know what I mean? He'd be like, motherfucker, you know what I mean? And we had this little racket that we were doing. In San Antonio, we'd go to the different houses and I'd bowl left-handed and maybe bowl like a 160, and then and then I'd bowl right-handed and I'd shoot like a 2-something, like 250 or something like that, and they'd just be like, this motherfucker, and be like,
the shark.
Yeah, it is like, yeah. So my uncle used to use me as a pawn to scam, not scam. I don't want to say that. My uncle's a good guy. You know what I mean? Hustle.
Shout out Tio.
He's hustling. He's hustling people.
Shout out Tio, man.
And they were his friends, right? So none of them really cared. But yeah, so yeah, that's my story. It's just like got that good, got good quickly, and that just kind of became my thing. But I played football too and other sports. So.
Right on.
So yeah.
So we wanted to get to those questions because we really appreciate the fans, everybody who's been viewing since episode 1, and obviously it's been growing. We intend to continue growing. We've got a new space here. We've got our producer Brian, who is a badass, and we've got great lights and cameras, and it's just going to grow from here. We're super excited about what's coming next.
Yeah, season 2. We're stoked about it. Definitely stay tuned. We look forward to all the new guests. We look forward to having new hosts as well, promoting good initiatives that help people, creating motivation and inspiration. I can't say that enough. I'll be redundant about it, and I don't even care. But, it's, again, we hope that we can inspire people to continue to fight in their lives. We are living in a really crazy time right now, unfortunately. And I think
it is what we make it.
So. It is. That's right. And
so focus on positive outcome, and the negative, it's not existent if you don't focus it on. So times are crazy, so focus on what you want to manifest and
change what you can change.
It's all about love, man.
Yeah, in chaos, there's opportunity.
That's right. So thank you guys. Check out season 2. This is the end of our promo. Love you guys. We're out.